And then, like, the music started. And I'm like, I don't know this song. Hattie Meowers 345 level 5. Hello everyone, I am level 5.
Whoa. Are you from some sort of Kpop group or something with that intro? That was incredible.
A little bit, but no, I'm not.
It's bringing me back to the days of Rise. Wow.
RYZ, Rise
to the top?
Yes. So,
oh, sorry, I got so distracted. Hi, I'm Devin.
Hi. So, last time Rise was actually here.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yes, but...
Or any...
yeah. I'm here today, level 5, because we are talking about K-pop current events again. We did it sort of recently, but, you know, we have some very important things to talk about. One really important thing to talk about that we talked about before. And now we finally get the chance to say what this was all about. What that was all about. Yeah.
Yeah. Last time we did wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, hey, you know. But now we're going to actually talk about it.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. The big news that we can finally discuss on this podcast.
Big news.
Has to do with Blitzers.
Blitzers!
Now, if you already stan Blitzers, like you should be doing, we've told you to stan Blitzers. At least check out their music. Watch some of their content. That's the bare minimum. But anyway, you should already know about this if you stan Blitzers. But Blitzers. Should we say it? Should we finally say it?
I guess we have to just say it.
Blitzers was on Britain's Got Talent.
Yep, that's... There you go. There you have it.
Yep. Let that sink in if you didn't know about it. Blitzers, the K-pop group, was on Britain's Got Talent recently.
If you keep saying it, it doesn't get more understandable. You just have to roll with it.
Yes. So... I don't remember, was it? I feel like it was before, it was like farther back than the last current events. It was like sometime when we first found out about it that we teased it. That we were like, there's some information, everyone, Meowers, about Blitzers. And we didn't want to talk about it because it's like, they didn't actually appear yet. So we didn't really say anything. Nobody had said anything. The first, let's throw it back to the first time we found out about this. It was not from Blitzers themselves. It was actually from the BGT Instagram, of all places, right? And they...
Of all places. Who follows that? No, I'm kidding. Some of you do, okay? And we understand you like that sort of thing.
Yes. So, of all places for Blitzers to appear, they appeared on that official account. And it was like one single picture and a slideshow, like an album of photos of other contestants back in January, okay? And it was like, who was in the picture? I think it was Shaw, Uju, Chris, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. And it was like, it was the account talking about the auditions for the show.
And it wasn't even, like, they didn't even tag Blitzers, did they? Like, it wasn't like, this is a picture of Blitzers.
Yes, they did not.
Like, it was just, like, backstage shots. Like, you can see some faces of some people in these different photos.
Yeah, and, like, everybody's like, that's Blitzers. So, it was like, okay, clearly Blitzers was there, right? Like, that's Blitzers. I actually didn't know for a while if it was going to be all of Blitzers or just the people that were in the photo. Turns out it was the whole group that auditioned. And so, like, it was just silence after that. Like, they didn't say anything. The company didn't say anything. Britain's Got Talent certainly didn't say any more. They just left it sitting there and left everybody knowing Blitzers is probably auditioning for this show and we have to just wait for it to air. Which... they sure did make us wait a long time, seeing as it's May, and their audition aired in the May 18th episode.
Yeah, like not even, it was like, oh, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. And like, it's a scary time because like you said, you know, there wasn't even everyone in the picture. No one said anything about it. So it's like, what is going on? Like, I know these people are from Blitzers, but are they auditioning as Chris Shaw and Uju? Or, like, are they auditioning as Blitzers? Like, what's happening? And so we're waiting and waiting. And then you get to the day finally, oh, Britain's Got Talent is going to start airing. So you're like, okay, good. But guess what? That doesn't matter because are they in episode 1? No. Are they in episode 2? No. Are they like, and we had to wait such a long time.
Yeah, they were like they literally are using Blitzers for the clout.
Yes.
Making everybody wait. And it's just, it was a lot. And so now we can talk about their audition.
And like, let's just take a moment though to not explain, but like to, you know, remember how crazy it is. They're using Blitzers for clout. Like, think about that for a second, because anytime we talk about a group in this sort of way, Stan Blitzers, you know, when we say Stan Pentagon or like things like that, like we're talking about the groups that like are not getting the clout that they deserve. And so to think that someone else is literally trying to use them for clout is like, wow, that's a first.
Yeah.
But it's more nuanced than that. We'll break it down.
Yes. So they did audition with this was another thing. We had like 4 months to think about, well, what on earth is Blitzers going to do for their audition? Like, are they going to perform Macarena in front of the judges? Are the judges going to hear a Blitzer song and all of the audience that's there? And turns out, no, not yet anyway, because they auditioned with that one Shawn Mendes song. There's Nothing Holding Me Back. There's Nothing Holding Me Back. Is that what it's called? Is that the proper title?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
here for Blitzers, not for Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, they auditioned with that song, and they did choreography for it as well, and they also did some raps in Korean, which I really like that they added that element. So, what do you think about that?
Well, like I said, I'm here for Blitzers, not for Shawn Mendes. So in the grand scheme of things, I can say I see why they would pick a song like that, and or I guess I'd say it was a good idea for them to pick a song like that, because at the end of the day, they're not trying to get me to be a fan. I already am a fan. So they don't need, like, I would have wanted to hear a Blitzer song, but like they're like, well, of course you would because you're our fan. But they're trying to get people that aren't their fans to like them. So they're like, let's, you know, do a song that they know and that they like, I guess. So
that's a good point.
Sure. Yeah. You know, I'm like, it's not about me. It's not about the fans. It's about, because like there's been other instances where I guess people maybe have picked not their own song to do. And I would think like, why? Like no one wants to hear that. Like, why did you guys pick that? We didn't want to hear that. We want to hear your music. But maybe those were instances for like award show performances, or, you know, like going on like a talk show or something maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess in those situations, it is more like you're performing for your own fan base.
Yeah.
Whereas this is you're performing for specifically not your fan base is the intention, I suppose. So I guess I get that. I get that. But I mean, and I think they did great. It did sound like they were singing through walkie-talkies. Like we talk about Inkigayo's sound being bad, but it sounds more like a washing machine or tin can that the audio was going through. This was not that. This was literally like they like Blitzers was singing, it was going through a microphone, and then someone else held a microphone up to the speaker that was playing Blitzer's voice, and that's the audio that we were hearing. Like the audio straight from a speaker. Like it was bad. Not they did a bad job, the audio was bad. It sounded like there was an effect happening on it, but there was no effect.
Yes,
Like-
I describe it as the bobbin effect.
Yeah.
Or Simon Says, which are both Blitzers songs, and they have this, like, effect happening to their voices in the song, and, like, I'm hearing Juhan and Uju, and I'm like, how are they sounding like they sound in those songs? But the mic quality was a little bit close to Inkigayo.
Yeah, it was not the best, but I think they did a great job. I think they looked like they were happy to be there, so that's always good. I thought it was kind of wild how they played BTS, not just at the end, but like it was like, oh, okay, and then bam, play the music, right? But like they kept playing it for like so long of the clip. I was like, okay, well, you don't have to play the whole BTS song now. Like it was a bit much.
Yeah.
And I mean, those should I go on? Like,
I'll talk about it, I
okay,
guess.
yeah. Like, what were your initial? Yeah.
Well, my initial, like, reaction was, well, one, I can't believe we are actually doing this. Because, like, I knew we were going to, right? But, like, did I really know? But then to see it, it's like, okay, here we go. Buckle up. I'm ready. Or I'm trying to be ready. And then, like, the music started. And I'm like, I don't know this song. And they started singing, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. I'm so confused. Is this even Blitzer singing? Because, like, I was not, like, I didn't even consider, honestly, the fact that they wouldn't do a Blitzer song, even though it makes sense, like you said, to, like, not do their own song. But I just was not thinking that they would do that I was like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I did, though. I liked the start. I thought it was a good start, even though I was confused, because it has like a hop in effect with, Jinhwa off to the side. And I'm like, there was just something about it that I was like, ooh, yeah, good start. And if there was one thing I knew ahead of time that Blitzers was going to do, I knew Blitzers would deliver the energy for that audition. Like, if there's one thing Blitzers is going to do, it's have a great performance that is super energetic. And yeah, I thought they all looked like they were enjoying it and trying to, make the most of the opportunity. And obviously it paid off because we should probably say that they did get a yes from all 4 judges. So that means that they do get to move on to the semifinals, which who knows what they're going to do for that. I'm curious to see what they'll do. And they apparently they got a standing ovation from everyone in the audience and all the judges, which it just seems so, like, crazy to me. Like, Blitzers, yes, they're great, but, like, I wouldn't expect the entire audience to react that way.
Yeah, like, it got to a point. Well, first of all, let me say, like, with the 4 yeses and they're going on to the next round thing, puts us in another whole situation again, like Boys Planet, Hui, that sort of vibe, where it's like, do we want this? Like, are we happy about that? And they looked happy, so, like, I'm assuming we're happy about this. But it's like every time you see a group or a person that's like, has their group go on some sort of other show where we kind of are like, well, where is this going to take them? Like, is this taking them in a place that we want them to be in or not? Like, you just get kind of confused and you're like, I don't know how to feel about this. But yeah, I guess we're liking this so far. It's
yeah,
good.
I think it'll hopefully, like, if they do happen to win the entire competition, I think it will hopefully be fine if it is just that. Like, they'll get the money or whatever. They'll get more exposure and a chance to, have that special performance. The thing that is worrisome is if any of the people involved, get their hands on Blitzers.
Yeah, like, want to scoop them up.
Yeah, like, we don't, that's territory that is not something that I feel like Blitzers should explore. So hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully it's a positive experience.
Yeah. Yeah. But so it was getting to a place with the video and the editing, and you know, we see the audience with the standing ovation, you know, we're hearing the judges' comments and stuff. It was getting to a place where at first I was thinking, this is really like creepily inspirational, like to the point of me feeling like bringing me back once again to Boys Planet and that sort of thing, Mnet evil editing, those sorts of things. Like, what am I even watching? Like, are these clips, like, did the judges say this to Blitzers and then Blitzers reacted that way? Like, what have they spliced together here? Because it just felt so unnatural. Like, it didn't feel, and maybe I'm just out of, like, maybe I've just become unaccustomed to the way that this type of programming is, like, displayed, like, edited, and I don't know. But, yeah, it just felt to me like, where is this feeling, like, if this was all authentic and the vibes were really like this during the actual real thing, like, where is it coming from, you know? Because, like, how, you know, and no insult to Blitzers because they did do that good of a job in my opinion, but like, how bad were the other auditions that these people had to see that day? Because they really make you seem like, they make you feel like when you're watching this video, like, wow, oh my God, finally we got to see something done right. And I'm like, I don't know. It just has this feeling to me that's like inauthentic, and I want them to authentically like Blitzers. Obviously, that's like, I want it to be good, and like, it is good, but it's like, I almost can't accept that they feel that way, because it's like, no one feels that way, you know? Like, we've been hoping that Blitzers, you know, has some, you know, help and some people that are like on the same page as this, you know, small fandom. And then all of a sudden now, yeah, a whole like stadium, auditorium, whatever, not a stadium, a whole auditorium is like freaking out over it. It is confusing.
Yeah, I like, it's, you know, people could probably, you know, misinterpret what we're saying when we're saying stuff like this. But I can't help but feel the similarities between Boys Planet, Mnet shows, and this type of program. There's just something about it that it's like, I'm very skeptical when it comes to this kind of stuff and the way that it is shown to us, because it's like, what am I supposed to really believe here?
Yeah.
And so it's just, I don't want to be super negative about it either. You know, I don't think either of us are trying to be super negative. Sorry, we're not just praising every single detail about it. And, you know, I don't want to take away from the great job that Blitzers did. Blitzers, if you are listening, please, you did a great job. You know, go Blitzers. Woohoo. We're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
But this is just, I can't help bring up some of the negativities, because it's like, you know, I'm skeptical about it. I'm concerned about what might happen if, you know, like we said, somebody else tries to get involved or something like that. And also it's like, yeah, did they just piece random things together? Were we shown the entire clip? Did we like miss out on some good comments like that, you know, we could have wanted to hear from either Blitzers or what the judges said to them? I don't really know. I guess the people in the audience know. But how much of that kind of stuff are the judges told to say? Like, were they told to react that way for Blitzers because they're K-pop? Who knows? So I don't mean to be negative like that, but it's just, can't help but wonder how much of the show is like natural, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like if you want to go like really start getting into conspiracies and stuff, you can start to think like, was Blitzers invited to audition? Were they paid to audition? You know, we don't know how deep these things go. Like, what if Britain's Got Talent scouts out some of their auditions? We don't know that.
We don't know, and we're also not making any accusations here, so nobody come for us.
No. I don't think it would be an accusation. Like, I think it's, if they do that, it's probably fine. Like, it's part of the thing. I'm not trying to say like, is this sketchy? I'm saying more so like we don't know to what degree things are sort of set up to be a certain way.
It's just we have no idea. So we're just talking about it.
Yeah. But so then it gets to a point where you see all that and you start to think like, yeah, is this really just for clout? Like we were saying at the beginning, what we mean by that is like, is this really just so that they can get, like Britain's Got Talent, can get their K-pop clout? Like, okay, cool, we check that one off the list. Like, we got K-pop fans that we know are very passionate to stop by our show, to watch some of it. We're going to get the K-pop group through, so they're going to watch it next week too. And like
we're
Simon
gonna push
Cowell,
off their audition for several weeks, so that everybody's like checking every week to see, oh, is Blizzers gonna be on today? Is Blizzers gonna be on today?
Yeah, we're gonna put them in the Instagram photo,
Yeah.
And then Simon Cowell, maybe he's like, oh, I want to be able to have a connection with a K-pop group, or like I want my in to K-pop, like you just start to think like, yeah, did they just really like make sure that they were being as like, on their best behavior as possible with the K-pop group that shows up, because they're like, oh, it's a K-pop group, like we better utilize this. You start to think those things, and
like from what we've witnessed, you can't help but think those things.
Exactly.
You can't help but wonder, and like we're just wondering about it. Well, I feel like I need to clarify once again, because there's always people that are gonna be like, oh, this is horribly offensive. But we're not trying to like downplay Blitzers. We're not trying to be, overly negative about the situation or anything like that. We're not saying anything is true or isn't true. And Blitzers, you did great. We're glad that you got this opportunity regardless. And, I can't wait to see your next performance. Woohoo!
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Can't wait to see their next performance.
Yeah, so I actually would like to talk like a little bit more like about the fact that, they sang and danced live. They sang in English for most of the song. They did choreography and a song that wasn't theirs. And like it was in a different unfamiliar environment in front of like
a group of strangers.
Yeah, a group of strangers and like judges, and they still did a good job and they passed, and like that's just so cool. Like
I feel like, that is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's possibly one of the only times, or like first times, that they probably had to perform in front of, one, a crowd that big, maybe. I don't know what opportunities they've had, but two, a crowd that's not their fans.
Yeah.
Like other groups, because, most of the time groups go on music shows and supposedly their fans are supposed to be there to watch them. And yeah, if it's a smaller group, maybe less of their fans are there. But like once a group gets to be able to go to certain things like award shows and like the end of the year festivals, then they might be performing in front of like mainly not their fans, but they're still at least performing in front of K-pop fans.
Yeah, like the Moon Babies. I remember that one festival that they were at.
Yeah, so this is like just like civilians.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different.
And sorry to bring it back down a little bit, but I am a bit worried because, of course, while it's a good opportunity to get more fans, it does open up that window for them to get more hate and like people can start being gross. I did see, while I was trying to like find this Blitzers performance, like see, okay, they are really being like, they're on the show tonight because the actual Blitzers Instagram has finally posted about it. Like there's actually finally acknowledgement from the Blitzers side of things, so I'm pretty sure it is today, right? And so like searching Blitzers on Twitter, which generally, I already don't like to see the general Twitter consensus, but there were people from, what seemed like the general public who saw their performance and they're like saying all these nasty things, and it's like, well, clearly clearly you're just a hater no matter what. And so it's like, hopefully they can find a good audience from this that will actually become Blitzers fans, and they don't have to just deal with, it's like, oh, you performed for the audience and they're all like, ew, K-pop. We don't even like K-pop at all, so of course we're not going to like you guys. But I think there were actually some, K-pop fans in the audience, and, thankfully, I do think it will be beneficial to some extent.
Yeah, that's just another layer onto the whole thing that you have to consider, is when someone or something is small and it has a small fan base, and it has a fan base that's sort of grown pretty organically and slowly, it's like attracted a lot of people that like exactly what they're seeing. Versus if you then like boom expose it to a large amount of people, there might be people that are interested but that like only a specific aspect of it, or that liked it only for a certain reason or a certain time. Like a lot of people are like, oh, this is trendy right now, I'm feeling the vibe, but they're not like in it. Or like, because they performed that Shawn Mendes song, not one of their own songs, it's like people can see it and they can be like, ooh, I liked what they did. I love Shawn Mendes. I like their performance of it. But they don't like the genre that Blitzers' other music is, because they didn't show, like, they weren't introduced to them in their, like, natural form.
Yeah.
So like that can be tricky when it's like, yes, we want to do this and try and get as many eyes on it as possible, and we're going to do something that's maybe more not mainstream necessarily, but something that would be something that the general public would be more interested in watching. But then it's like, so then who are you bringing back, into the fan base?
Right.
So it can be tricky.
Yes. So I do hope for the best for Blitzers. And, as we kind of wrap up on the BGT topic, I think that this would be a good time to direct everybody to some of the BlushCat content that we've done about Blitzers.
Absolutely.
Because we have talked about Blitzers a lot on this podcast, and anybody that might have misunderstood our intentions
and our sentiment.
Yeah, from what we were saying this whole other time, please don't get us wrong now, and try to understand that we do support Blitzers, and you can hear us talk about Blitzers in our Why You Should Stan Blitzers episode that we did
love Blitzers
somewhat recently. We've talked about the Macarena music video and song Macarena like 800,000 times.
So many times people probably stopped listening.
Because we talked about it so much. We talked about Blitzers on our tier list video that we did recently. We've made shorts about Blitzers and Macarena. Devin tried to, name all of the members of Blitzers back when she was still learning Blitzers. And
I know all of them now.
That was in the Sorting the Boy Group Members episode. So we've got a lot for you to check out. And also in our Meower Monthly that will be out at the end of this month, May, we will be doing a spotlight on Blitzers. So you can go ahead and be sure to check that out, because we'll give you some more recommendations. We've recommended Blitzers stuff before on the podcast, but we'll have some recommendations for you there. And Blitzers,
we really like Blitzers. It's not just a group that we're covering because they were on Britain's Got Talent. We really like Blitzers.
Yes.
I feel like maybe that sounded kind of sarcastic or something, but I'm being serious. I've never been more serious.
If nobody else knows, I know. So we should move on from Blitzers now.
Fine, I guess if we have to.
Let's talk about some other current events, which would be some May comebacks. And you might be thinking, what do you mean? May comebacks? That sounds like something that would be its own episode. Well, we're not going to be doing a May comebacks episode this month because
they were trash. No.
because there's not that many we wanted to talk about, and some of the ones like that, you know, maybe we'll have wanted to talk about are happening later in the month, and we want to talk about 2 of the comebacks now. So let's start with ZB1.
Okay, yes. We start with ZB1. We talked about, like, that's the other thing. It was kind of like there was a lot of overlap, or like things that was like not really a comeback, but it's a comeback. But we talked about ZB1 last month because they had Sweat. But now they have their actual like comeback, you know, with Feel the Pop.
Yes.
Am I going to be starting with that? Do you want to start with that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you go ahead and start.
Okay.
Take it away, Devin.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. If you haven't listened before, new listener alert. Here's something you should know about me. I don't like cowboy aesthetic. Okay. You know, yeehaw. It's fun for the memes, but I don't want to see it. Okay. So my initial thought, the first thing that I wrote down when I watched this, you know, because I like to write down my thoughts because I know we're going to talk about them. My first thing, it was indeed, ew. Okay. So I know that sounds extremely harsh. ZB1, zeros. Okay. Please calm down for 1 second and let me finish.
You've already got a hate comment.
I know. So yes, I thought ew. And yes, I absolutely hate the aesthetic, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, I hate it. And I'm not going to lie about that, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I like the song. And like, you know, the aesthetic, it's like, what are you going to do about that? You know, it's like, you can't really do anything about it, okay? If it's an aesthetic that I hate, then it's an aesthetic that I hate. I can't do anything about that.
Right.
But I do like the song. It was kind of reminding me of Melting Point in its sort of energy, I guess. So I think I like everything about Sweat more, besides the fact that it's called Sweat. So I did like that one more, but this one it's a good one. Like, I like it. If you guys have been listening for a while and you've been hearing us talk about zerobaseone and all of their songs, in terms of title tracks, I've been struggling a little bit to really like get super on board with the title tracks, even though I do think they're always doing a good job. But Sweat and Feel the Pop are both ones that I'm vibing with. I like them. The music video, let's just remember what I said about Sweat when I said, what did I say? Like the minimalists and like simplicity really did a lot for them. Yeah. So what did you think?
Well, your thoughts are my thoughts.
Oh.
Except like a little bit more. Like, I really like it. The song's a bop. Okay, I'll start with the positives. The song is a bop. It's great. I love it. I love the fun, bright energy. It's great. The music video is everything that I have a strong distaste for. And I'm very sorry, once again, people don't like to hear the negative opinions. They don't like to hear the, you know, dislike of anything. But we're having a conversation. We're talking about it. We're talking about the Feel the Pop music video. It's not my aesthetic at all. I do not like it.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing that's like, it's to such a strong degree that we can't really just be like, in the music video, you know, like it was okay, or like gloss over it. Like, it's the type of thing we kind of have to like mention, or else it feels like we're lying almost.
Yeah. Like, I knew from the teasers, like once I saw the cowboy aesthetic, styling, vibes, I was like, well, this is already not going to be the music video for me. But yeah. I mean, I haven't really liked any of their music videos, honestly, so I wasn't really surprised. But I was surprised just how many elements they added that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like, I was kind of impressed how they actually managed to add in like they already had the cowboy outfits, okay? And then they had like the saloon. They had like the bad graphic quality and like the just overwhelming amount of things on the screen. They had the random sports concept that's just, you know, thrown in there.
The CGI like in the sky, you know, like things just all over the screen sort of.
Yes. They had the office concept, which, you know, sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss, but kind of office and cowboys and tennis all in one video was kind of like I'm not following. But then they put the flying car, and I was like, that's when I was really impressed, because I was like, wow, they added another element that I just never like in music videos. Like, I'm sorry,
a car going through the clouds.
Like, I love the IVE Love Dive music video. I love it. Check our tier list. I'm not lying. But the flying car part, I just don't like when they do that kind of stuff in music videos.
Yeah, it's always just a little much. Like, it seems like a children's movie from the 1990s.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't, you know, you said the graphics quality, and I just, like, the video looks like someone chewed on it. Like, I don't know. How did they manage to make it look like that?
I don't know.
Okay, you especially are definitely like a Zeros. Like, you like the group like a lot. Like, you're definitely a fan.
Yeah.
Like, you follow them, you watch their content, you love their songs. Like, you think that their music like has like good, like a lot of like good points to it stuff. It's not just like, oh, I like to listen to this.
Yeah.
So like, guys, we're not they didn't make the chewed graphics, okay? Someone else
if you guys did, honestly, you're under week 1, so I can understand. You got to do what you got to do. But
when I saw it, because like you're saying you're surprised at how many elements they added, and when I saw it, I said, actually, there are so many things that I dislike about this that I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't even know what to point out or what to talk about, because it's just absolutely everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, their other 2 title track music videos, I was feeling like, yeah, there's some weird graphical things going on. And, like, it's switching to different sorts of vibes and things like that. And I was kind of confused, but like, this one really took it up to like 200%. I just yeah. Like, I'm here for ZB1, but I don't think I'm here for ZB1 music videos.
Yeah, me too. But let's talk about the choreography, okay? Because it actually has, like, I was going to say a comment about the music video, but I don't know if I'm at, like, that level yet, but I am kind of at that level with the choreography. And that's at first, I didn't like the choreography. I'm like Sweat. I didn't really like that choreography either, right? I'm like, there's a lot going on here, and I'm not so sure how it ties together. But this, like, Feel the Pop, I was feeling the same way a little bit. It's more cohesive in my opinion, but I was like, some of the moves are a little like, I don't know. But like, now I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, it's like, it's funny a little bit. It's like, oh, Feel the Pop, let's go. And I think they kind of know that, especially like, I've seen Idle Human Theater, okay, like they were going on, and I think that's kind of the point, to have like a fun little silly choreography, a fun little song, silly music video, right? So that's like, I don't know if I'm at the point where it's like, yeah, the music video is like, you know, it's like a fun little silly thing. Right, it's kind of just like, why would you do that though? But I do enjoy like watching it. I've been watching the music show stages and some like fan cams and stuff. I've been loving all of those. It's a fun time, okay? Like, I feel like this is one of those songs. I know there's another group that has a song that's giving the same essence, but I don't know what it is. And it's kind of like, yeah, this was a bit of like, you know, it's like a comeback where it's like, not like, you're not supposed to take it super seriously.
Right.
But it's still like such a good song. It's like, yeah, put on Feel the Pop. But I can't remember what that other group is that it's reminding me of. And I would like to say that at the end of a music core performance, actually, Zhonghao's pop really hits like jelly pop. Like he like it hits like hit, you know, the way he says pop is like he's like punching the pop into the microphone. And like he does the same thing when like they did jelly pop during the finale. And everybody knows jelly pop is great, right?
Love jelly pop.
Yeah.
This, I said, Feel the Pop is like they tried to make a song that was combining Hot Summer and jelly pop. That's Feel the Pop to me. Or maybe they tried to make Sweat be Hot Summer and Feel the Pop be jelly pop. I don't know. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I really like the energy that ZB1 has. And I know to a degree they were kind of engineered that way by like everyone seeing them on Boys Planet. Like, so they picked people that would have like good, you know, entertainment energy and stuff. But I think, yeah, whenever you see them like interacting, not like just with each other, I'm just saying like their presence, you know, their presence is really good, really fun. And I feel like it makes, you know, it makes it so that even when there's times like this where you think the song is like, you're like a little bit like, I don't know how I feel about the aesthetics with this. It's like their energy is so like nice and light and energetic that you're like, but it's just fun. Versus like, I guess sometimes I see a group and I'm like, what are they doing? You know, what are they wearing or things like that? But I don't really know the vibe of the group very well. Then I kind of think like they're more like in it than they maybe are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I have noticed some like improvement, like with not that I'm some sort of expert like a judge or like critic or something, but you know, I feel like some of the people, like, you know, we talked about with Sweat, some other people were getting more feature and more parts and stuff like that. And I feel like some of the members that maybe I wasn't really feeling as much like rooting for on Boys Planet, or even like during the first like song, I was kind of like, I don't really know, like if like I don't really know. But now I'm like, well, I'm seeing what they have to offer now, and I think that they're improving, which is always good to see. And also I think that the, like you said, like just the energy like among the members, I think too, like when they perform on stage, like it just makes the performances more fun to watch.
Yeah, they look like they are having fun, and they look like they are actually, yeah, the more that I think about it, I feel like I didn't feel that way very much on their, you know, like their debut time. I felt that Boys Planet disconnect, if you will. You know, I'm focusing on the camera, I'm focusing on my expressions, and I'm focusing on like, you know, getting my job done. Whereas now I feel like they're definitely more on the side of like, I'm performing. You know, it seems like they're delivering a more natural vibe than I used to think. So I completely forgot that I had thought that way before. I don't see that anymore.
Yeah. I also forgot that Feel the Pop. I kind of forgot because I keep listening to it so much, but that kind of wore off, I guess. But I definitely do think that it sounds like Blush by UA, like their recent release, which is kind of like, you know, it just happened. Okay, we just had that kind of moment, and now we're at it again. But like the first several times I heard Feel the Pop, I felt like it was literally going to go into like the part like kind of near the end of Blush, and I just couldn't help but feel that way.
They really do have like a very similar, like, I don't know, vibe, something, tone. Not tone, tune. I don't know.
I wanted to.
You could totally do a remix.
Yeah, I wanted to see if it was made by the same people, but I never looked that up. I would like to just briefly, you know, mention the album, because they did have 7 songs, but it was kind of like 6 songs because there was a sped up version of Feel the Pop. But it's called You Had Me at Hello. And before I don't have a lot to say on the songs. But I we gotta shout them out, right?
I didn't even listen yet.
I want to talk about the album art though, because this is something that I feel like I'm on a completely different page than everybody else. I actually like the album art. Basically, everybody always complained about ZB1's album art, and they were like, this looks awful. It's all cut off. All the text is like just random. Why does it look like it says this rather than this? And everybody was always, having an issue with it. But I really never had a problem with it. I was always kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like kind of weird that the text is cut off, but I actually think it looks better than a lot of K-pop album art that I've seen. But now everybody knows that there was a vision for it, and suddenly it's great. Suddenly I feel like everybody's like, oh yeah, now we like the album art. Maybe they're not, I don't know. But I just because I do love when groups do that sort of thing. I love in music videos when they have a connecting storyline, and I love when groups have their albums all flow together, like AB6 albums and Gravity albums. They all look really good next to each other, stuff like that. I don't know what the actual I don't think the albums, the physical albums do that with ZB1, but the artwork, Youth in the Shade, you can see you and then had big, and so then Melting Point, you can see me, and then Sweat they released as a pre-release, so they have a separate artwork for that, and you can only see the AT from Sweat. And now they have the album You Had Me at Hello, but the Hello is the one that's in the most focus, everything else is getting cut off a little, so all together they read You Had Me at Hello.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so they had a vision the whole time, but everybody was like, these are awful designs. But I'm like, I always liked them, and yeah.
That's the type of thing that good on you for being ahead of the game and for knowing its greatness before everyone else did. Because if I am, if there are things like that with me, how I always talk about how I didn't think that Gunna was mean ever from day one. And now everyone's like, oh, we thought you were so mean at first, but now, and I'm like, no, I believed in you from the start. Yes, get that recognition. But at the same time, to be fair, I'm looking at this now, I would have also thought that this was crap.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I never had a problem with it.
And I'd say, to be fair, I understand people having a problem with that. I think it does look like bad design. And then also, to be fair, I understand people switching and being like, oh, okay, no, it is cool, because now they actually can tell. And yeah, once you can tell, you're like, wow, yeah, it is cool. But at the same time, I'm also kind of that's a pretty big risk to make the things look that weird. Only for later it to work out this way. You're we're gonna full commit to 4 songs deep of making the art look kind of questionable, and then hopefully it'll all come together. I never knew that. That's I think it's really cool. I appreciate the vision. I never looked at the art that much to be considering any of those things at all, but also, yeah, good for you for appreciating it ahead of its time.
Maybe it's so absurd that I actually kind of didn't mind looking at it. But I just feel it has some essence about it. I don't know. I never minded it.
The one that I'm looking at right now, You Had Me at Hello, I think it's quite odd that the words are cut off at the top. But overall, visually, if I'm not thinking, if I'm not thinking in this from a perspective of trying to sell a product, like this is merchandise, like it should have correct information and stuff. And I'm just thinking of it in an aesthetic and artistic sense of like, is this nice to look at, not nice to read? It is nice to look at. Like it's not like they made something ugly. It's just that the words are cut off weirdly.
Yeah.
It looks like it was cropped weird, but it doesn't look like it's ugly.
Yeah. But the actual album, I feel like it's a little bit of a different style than their other two. I don't want to say that it's like darker or tougher, but like I kind of do. But I mean, they had Crush and that was dark. And the songs aren't like, you know, super, like they've got light sounding songs obviously on the album. But I mean, the first song, like Solar Power, reminds me of like an AB6 track 1 sort of song. So I feel like they've got a little bit of a different direction this time. And like they're not horrible, but I feel like I was enjoying some of like the other B-sides a bit more. But like I still think like they're not offering anything awful yet. And I do have to shout out Terry's part in Hello.
Of course.
It's just super good, okay? Like when that part comes on, like that's a ballad and like cool that they're doing a ballad. But it's just such a good part. It's such a good part. So yeah, that's all that I have to say about ZB1.
Okay, let me throw in one last thing. I am now seeing all of their albums lined up next to each other, where you can see You Had Me At and then Hello. And yes, that's so cool. But at the same time, I am now seeing the art for Sweat and how it's like a little bit of an E and then an A and a T. And I suppose if I were to see that, like if I were to click on that and see, oh, there's the art, I would have thought, what is wrong with these people? That one particularly is because I always thought that the Youth in the Shade one was pretty weird, how it's like you in the had. I was like, why is it cropped like that?
Yeah.
But it somehow looks like it makes more sense than the Sweat one, literally just looking like they zoomed so far in and all you see is the end of the word. Like that one looks awkward to me. Like it does look just weird. But no, it was a good idea, I guess. Okay, well, like I said, did not listen to any other songs on the album yet, but Feel the Pop and Sweat, we know I'm here for both of those ones. At least the songs. So we've got another one to talk about, like another comeback. This is like a legitimate, this is their comeback. We didn't talk about them recently. Let's go, right?
Right.
Aespa,
Yes.
Supernova.
Yes. And apparently they are having like another release later this month, but we're not going to do a comebacks episode like we said earlier. So we're only talking about Supernova today. And I guess I'll start and I'll say that I really like the song. I do. I think it's, you know, throwing it back to next level sort of style. And it also reminds me of Dreams Come True with like the funky breakdown part. And I think it's good. I think the styling for the music video and like I don't remember honestly if they wore these outfits in the music video or not, but the first Countdown stage that they had, those outfits, they kind of remind me of some of the Feel Special outfits that Twice had that are like purpley bluish pinky sort of colors. But yeah, I liked those types of looks. Some of the music show outfits that they've had that I've seen I really didn't like though, but their concept photos I thought were pretty cool. They had some like fun quirky sort of styling in that. And I was honestly getting some like Nine Eye Turn It Off vibes with like the boldness of some of the looks that they had.
Fair.
Which I have been wanting stronger concepts and bolder styling like that. So I'm glad that they are delivering that. They did sort of remind me of IVE's concept photos though. So I was like, I kind of just was getting these vibes a bit, so it's not like as exciting as it would have been if I didn't feel like I had just seen that. But that's just like how I felt about it. But yeah, I really have been liking the song. I, once again, like I said with ZB1, really don't like the music video. It's just so far from my style. I really don't enjoy it at all.
I think it is very similar to the ZB1 music video in terms of the extra CGI and graphics and weird like crunchiness, you know, like
Yeah. I think it's a little messy looking too. It is a little funny at like some parts, but some of the parts that I think were supposed to be comedic were like, I really just didn't like looking at it. And I really, 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 really don't like the part with the fake mouths. Like the mouths that move on like the still picture. I have never liked that. I don't like mouth animation. I don't like when, you know, I know it's in the Red Velvet Happiness music video. They have like the lips. I don't like looking at that kind of thing. So the music video is really not for me, but I love the song. Yeah.
Yeah, the mouths on the picture sort of part, it's giving like when they do the SpongeBob but with real people or real picture scenes, like it's giving that, which is just kind of, yeah.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I agree with a lot of what you've said. Like, yes, I was definitely getting next level vibes from it. Like the first time I was listening to it, I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, you know, pick a lane. Like, where's the song going? But like, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like next level though, once I listened to it more than once. And it definitely did settle into that. Like, it sounds like a song now. It doesn't sound like a whole bunch of disjointed pieces. But yeah, so I like the song as well. And then yeah, the music video, like I said, I think it's very similar to Feel the Pop or like ZB1's style that they've been doing. But for me, this one's like slightly less bad to me, like to watch, because for some reason it feels like it goes more. Like I feel like I get that is the reason that they were doing this. Like it's supposed to be really weird and really creepy and stuff. Whereas the ZB1 ones, I didn't think that they were supposed to be like odd. But this one I feel like the intent is to be odd. So it's like it doesn't bother me as much, but I still don't like it. And what you're saying about the concept photos from IVE, and you're like, then this one, so you're saying this is, you feel like it's kind of, it would be better if you didn't feel like you just saw it.
Yeah.
But to me, it loops back around again, because when I saw the IVE concept photos before Aespa's stuff just came out, I was thinking, oh, I think I would like these IVE concept photos more if I didn't feel like I had just seen this stuff. In terms of not their styling, but their, like, the silver blobby stuff that was like in the pictures was reminding me of not IVE, of Aespa. Like Aespa's previous stuff, I think their like text and font kept being like that, and it's like that again for Supernova. So it's kind of like an endless cycle of like, I thought that IVE's thing looked like Aespa, and then you thought that Aespa's thing looked like IVE. But yeah, I definitely like this one. Like they're back on an upswing for me, Aespa, with this one.
Yeah. I mean, I've been liking, I think, everything since Girls. Girls was the only one I didn't really like at all, I guess, or like that whole era. But I really liked Drama, and I like this one too. It actually does kind of
spicy, I guess.
Yeah, I like spicy. I didn't like the music video for that one either, though.
Yeah, me either.
Supernova does kind of make me think of Black Mamba too, though, and so I kind of wished that the music video looked a little more like that. Like, I wanted it to be brighter, but it's so dark.
Yeah, and they're not like the initial ones, I feel like were more otherworldly.
Yeah.
And then now they're like they keep being like more in a more realistic setting. Like obviously this one is not realistic still.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just has a little less of that like etherealness and stuff.
Yeah.
That Black Mamba and Next Level 2 was very like space,
Yeah.
right?
Like I wanted it to look like Girls' Generation Galaxy Supernova. Like with like I want it to have bright colors, or like EXO Power, like something with more color, because when I think supernova, I just think of like bright, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and you don't think of like city streets and office buildings,
definitely
skyscrapers.
don't.
And that's like kind of where they like placed it. So yeah.
Is it weird that I think of bright stuff for supernova?
No, I don't think so, because isn't a supernova like a exploding star? Like, so you would think of brightness, I would think. Like that's a natural, I think it's a natural thing that people would associate with it.
Well, I like I said, have been, you know, enjoying the song itself. I like Ning Ning's part a lot. I usually do. What's new, right? She's serving Jimin TikTok at her part at the beginning. And I like the part when Karina kicks and like they do a little camera pan.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I don't really feel like there's like a lot of super, you know, standout choreography, but I don't think there's anything offensive either. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they brought back a little bit of the, like, Next Level is the best when you watch the stages or like the filmings where they like really use the camera angles. Like it's really cool. Like there's a lot of like the camera angles are part of it. And Definitely. So I like that they brought that back a little bit with this one.
Yeah.
And so that is bringing us to our last main topic of the day, which is going to be IVE. We did just talk about IVE with Heya, and now they are doing a second promotional, you know, moment for another one of their songs from that album, and it's Accendio. And do you want to start again? Do you want me to start?
I would like to start, please.
Okay.
I feel like I always want to start with IVE because I just have to always talk about how good it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, this video, right? They had the music video, obviously, and they've done it on music shows. And if we had waited to do our favorite K-pop music videos tier list until after this video was out, it would be on it for sure. It's definitely like right near the top. Like, I love the music video. I think it's super fun, and it's something that I haven't really seen in a K-pop music video, and it just was so well executed. I loved it. I loved watching it, like, from the very beginning. Like, I knew that I was like, ooh, they're acting. Like, there's a story here. Something's going on. And, like, I knew it was going to be good. And I love the choreography moments in the music video. And I love the fun, like, the concept, like, the styling. And I was hoping that they would deliver something with that styling that was in the concept photos, and they did. And obviously the song is great.
Yes. You guys heard me in the last comeback episode when we talked about Heya. I liked Accendio more. Like, this was probably I think this is my favorite song on the album. So I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with it, because I was like, yeah, no, this is the song that I really like. And they definitely delivered. They did not disappoint. I too thought it was really cool, really interesting. There were times where I thought it was a little bit silly. Like, I was like, am I really taking this seriously right now? But I think it all works anyway. I really liked like when they were really pulling me in right near the beginning, when they have the like real audio of them yelling through the house.
Love that.
I love that part. That's so cool. And then also I really like the fighting parts.
Yeah.
Like, and I just feel like I've never really seen at least a girl K-pop group, but maybe like a K-pop group in general. I've never really seen them do this concept for a music video before. It was cool. I liked it. Yeah, like the little like staff, you know, and the seance moment and the bike riding. Like, you know, there were a couple moments where I thought like maybe it's getting a little silly. Like the bike riding moment, I can't help but think of I Am in Fighter, the Fighter music video.
Oh yeah.
But no, I think it works. I think I always like to mention my biggest qualm.
Okay.
My biggest qualm about it is the little girl picking up the thing at the end and reading Accendio on it. She looks like she's like 6 or something. Okay, so I find it a little hard to believe that she could read that word. Okay, that's all. But no, I liked it. And my other big qualm would be,
you can't have two big qualms.
This was not about the music video.
Is it about IVE?
Yes.
No.
My other one is just that I wish that when they promoted it on stages, they had a few more opportunities of styling that wasn't like the sort of schoolgirl or like, you know, more like uniform aesthetic. Yeah. They did like one of them in the like evil people clothes, and I felt like that was so different, you know, but they didn't do like very many like looks that were different like that. I felt like they did some more classic IVE looks, you know. So I would have liked to see some of the other more different ones more, but I really enjoyed this. Like this one for me is like, I don't want to say it's way better than Hey Ya, because then it makes it sound like Hey Ya was bad, but Hey Ya just wasn't my taste. Whereas this one's for me. Like I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's just, how long are we going to be doing BlushCat episodes while IVE is making music and active, and I'm gonna have to come here and talk about it and just talk about how good it is every single time, like hopefully for a long time, because I want to keep hearing IVE music and seeing them make good stuff that I like. But it's just like everybody's probably tired of it, like we get it. But it's just so good. You've got to go watch it.
It's really good.
Like,
it's really good.
It's so unique. It's just so well done. Like, and it could have been done in like a way worse way. Like, the silliness is like part of it.
Yeah.
But it's also cool. Like,
yeah.
It makes you feel like you feel like a kid almost watching it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of like a Power Rangers vibe to it. A little bit.
Power Rangers.
But no, and I love how they like they brought back the, you know, either way, what's the other one called?
Oh, Off the Record.
Off the Record.
Yeah.
Like you know, vibe, storyline, whatever. Yeah. But like, and then the one where they're pointing, like she's pointing up at the sky or something at the end, and it's like, what the heck is up with that? And then they're like tying it all together.
Nobody was talking about that, and I'm like, it's clearly like related.
Yeah.
Like finally we're getting like some extension, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not like, it does go together, right?
I think like, so. Like, because that part at the end of that music video seems like so
irrelevant.
Yeah. But now it seems like there's a relevancy, because it seems like it's like those girls kind of, and then it's like a power from beyond, you know?
Yeah.
Something from space.
Yeah. I have to say that I really like, I actually didn't really like you know, like the set when they're fighting. Like I wished it wasn't so red, because the concept photos when they're wearing those looks, well, actually not those exact ones, but like they had more purple in their concept photos, and so I was like, well, why are they like incorporating so many looks from the concept photos in this video? But then that's like they go to the big fight scene place and it's like all red and like a little bit boring looking, but actually I really like it because it looks like a video game. Once again, let me make a video game reference here. Like, not a specific one, but like, you know, when you go to like a different world for a minute to like do the fight. Like, it's like they transport you to the little like fighting island.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying.
Oh, it's such a good video.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. So that's really all that we want to mainly talk about today. We're not doing the May Comebacks episode, so that's why we covered ZB1, Aespa, and IVE now. There are some comebacks to look forward to in the rest of the month. And June. June has some comebacks that I'm looking forward to as well. You know, we've got an even comeback on the horizon. We've got One Pact coming back. We've got Rise coming back. We haven't talked about Rise on the podcast, really. But maybe we will talk about them when they have the comeback. Who knows?
Spoiler alert, or like update time, they've become relevant to us.
Yes. And who else? BDU. BDU is set to make their debut at some point. I'm not sure if it's June. I think it's supposed to be June. And you know, when the time comes to talk about BDU, hopefully I'll be ready.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that's all for today.
Okay.
It wasn't exactly, you might be thinking current events. You kind of just talked about blitzers and comebacks. So not really current events that you might think of, but we're calling it that. So
it was
with
a fitting,
accept it.
It was a fitting title for this sort of mixed bag because, like, yeah. I feel like we explained it along the way, so we'll leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah. So you know what to do. If you liked the video, like it on YouTube, subscribe to the BlushCat channel, and turn on notifications. Don't forget to follow BlushCat on Spotify and check us out on our other social media platforms. Please.
Make sure to go and check on those social media platforms for the May Meower Monthly at the end of the month. Check out that Blitzer Spotlight.
Yes, and be sure to leave us a wonderful, heartwarming, emotionally supportive comment about just, you know, some of the things that we talked about this episode. Most importantly, remember to stay meowing. Because at the end of the day, what are you?
A meower.
Exactly. Stay meowing, everybody. This has been Level 5.
Wow, how inspirational.
Okay, bye.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks so much for listening, guys.
This has been Level 5.
And me. Bye.
Meow, 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 meow.